The chandeliers sparkled in the grand dining hall as laughter echoed against the marble walls. Richard Callahan, a wealthy businessman in his late 50s, stood at the head of a long table dressed in a tailored charcoal suit. His salt and pepper hair was combed back neatly, and the quiet authority he carried in his presence was as striking as the wealth that surrounded him. To his right sat 4 women, each one breathtaking in her own way. They wore elegant gowns, diamonds glimmering on their necks and wrists, their beauty enhanced by the glow of candlelight and the taste of power that clung to the air. Dinner was a show of extravagance, golden cutlery, crystal glasses filled with vintage wine, and dishes prepared by a Michelin-starred chef. The women laughed at Richard's jokes, leaned closer with adoration, and whispered sweet promises. They weren't just dinner guests, they were competitors, each hoping to be the one who would win more than just Richard's attention. When the final course was cleared away, Richard reached into his inner pocket and pulled out a sleek black velvet box. He placed it on the table and the women leaned forward, their eyes sparkling with anticipation. Slowly, he opened the box, revealing 4 platinum cards gleaming beneath the light. "These," he said with a smile, "are unlimited cards. No limits, no restrictions. You can have anything you desire. Designer clothes, jewelry, luxury vacations, whatever your heart craves. Each of you will get one. Consider it a gift for the joy you bring into my life." The women gasped with delight. Their manicured fingers reached for the cards, clutching them like treasures. Excitement buzzed between them as they whispered about the lavish lives they could now live. At that moment, standing quietly near the corner of the room, was Maria. She was the maid, early 30s, her dark hair pulled back into a neat bun, dressed in a simple black and white uniform. She had served in Richard's mansion for 5 years, invisible yet dependable. She didn't expect gifts, and certainly not something as unimaginable as an unlimited card. She kept her eyes lowered, her hands folded politely, waiting for instructions. But Richard noticed her. He always did. There was something about Maria. Her quiet dignity, the way she moved through the house with respect, her humility in the face of such wealth. For years she had cared for his home, remembered the smallest details of his preferences, and, more importantly, treated him like a human being instead of a wallet. Richard paused, then pulled out a 5th card from his pocket. He looked toward Maria. "You've been with me longer than anyone else here," he said. "This one is for you." The women froze. Their painted smiles faltered, and their eyes darted toward Maria with disbelief. A maid? Receiving the same gift as them? Their laughter returned, but this time it was sharp, mocking. "Come now, Richard," one woman said with a sly grin. What would she even do with a card like that? Buy more aprons? The others chuckled. But Maria's face remained calm. She stepped forward, accepted the card with both hands, and gave a slight bow. "Thank you, sir, but I can't accept this." The women smirked, exchanging satisfied glances, as if Maria had just proven them right. But Richard frowned. "Why not, Maria?" She looked him in the eye, her voice steady yet soft. "Because I already have everything I need. A roof over my head, food on the table, work that keeps me honest. I don't need a card that buys diamonds or designer dresses. If you truly wish to give it, let me use it to help those who have nothing. Children in hospitals, families with no homes, people who can't afford a single meal." "That is what I would do." The room fell silent. The women's laughter died instantly. Their hands, still clutching their cards, trembled with the weight of her words. Richard stared at Maria, his expression unreadable. Then, slowly, a smile spread across his face. Not the polished, practiced smile he wore at business meetings, but a genuine one, the kind that came from the heart. "You're the first person who's ever said no to me," he whispered. "The first one who's seen this gift as more than a ticket to indulgence." He placed a hand over hers. "You've taught me something tonight." The 4 women shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Their cards, once symbols of power, now felt like shackles of vanity. For the first time they saw themselves in a harsh light. Greedy, shallow, empty. Days turned into weeks, and Maria stayed true to her word. She worked with charities, built shelters, and set up scholarship programs. With Richard's support, she used the unlimited card not for herself, but for thousands of others. Every dollar spent carried a story, a child's smile, a family's relief, a life changed. Meanwhile, the four women's glamorous lifestyles crumbled into emptiness. Their closets overflowed with clothes they never wore. Their jewels gathered dust, and their vacations blurred into forgettable escapes. None of it filled the hollow space inside them, the space Maria's kindness had illuminated. One evening, Richard stood by the window of his mansion, watching Maria distribute blankets to the homeless gathered by the gates. His eyes misted. He had built empires, earned fortunes, and collected treasures. Yet in all his years, no one had shown him the meaning of true wealth, until his maid. And so, in the quiet of that moment, he made a decision, not to chase after more riches, not to surround himself with more glamorous faces, but to follow Maria's path of kindness. Because in the end, it wasn't the cards that mattered, but the heart that chose how to use them. The women who once mocked her would never forget the night a maid taught them the difference between luxury and love. And Richard himself would carry her lesson forever, that true wealth is not measured by what we keep, but by what we give.